today we've got a nice little project, a benchtop socket. Rather than have a 4-gang or 3-gang or 2-gang, a bunch of sockets on the desk, that's all fine, it all works, but it's actually quite nice to have something with a little bit more mass to it, with a bit of a retro feel, but also has the capability of providing a decent static leak. So I've got this thing here, which is a static strap. So you strap yourself to that, and then you've got this bit that you put onto earth. Now this has probably about a 1 meg inline resistance. Some of them don't. They really should have that, so you're not connected to earth directly, and you have a earth with zero resistance. That would be bad. That would be a bad thing. So this has 1 meg inline resistance, but what we're going to do is we're going to use this thing, this lovely little enclosure here, with this socket. So it's going to look like that on the bench with some rubber feet. It's going to have nice strain relief for the cable, so that's all going to go nice in the back. It's going to have this thing for the earth, so I'll be able to push that banana clip in there, which is cool. But also if I need earth, then I've got that, which is fine. This came out off a piece of old test equipment, and it's grey and not yellow, but I actually quite like grey. It looks quite nice. Anyway, so the idea is I'm going to assemble all this. It should be a fairly straightforward build. Really, this is the idea of having a benchtop thing like this, which has some mass, is that as things move around the desk, it doesn't fly off. So that's the idea. And the critical thing is that there's independent switches for that. So if I'm doing some test equipment, or when I'm at the repair cafe that I volunteer for every month, great fun, by the way. If you've got one near you, repair cafe all the way, great fun. You meet some very interesting people with interesting skills, and you get to repair stuff, and it avoids things going in the bin. Really, really nice. Anyway, also the cakes are nice, but don't tell my missus. So these are standard 2-gang switches. So there's nothing out of the ordinary about those. I was thinking about maybe using a USB one. Well, I could do that, but actually I quite like the simplicity of just having this. The key thing is you've got switches available there, so that's really good. It would have been nicer if they'd been illuminated. I was thinking about having a master switch up here with an LED indicator, or a neon even, nice aesthetic, a bit like this, flashing away, lovely, very nice. But can't bother with that, haven't got it lying around. This is, to be honest, sort of minimal, and I quite like minimal. So the first thing we're going to do is think about the wiring of this. So I've got a 1 meg resistor there. So the idea is I'm going to have that on there, crimped on the end, and then this soldered onto there, and some heat shrink. Well, I can't say that. And then this will be inside on this earth tab there, and it will come off the earth strap. And then this will go inside there. And this is interesting because I've got the cables ready to go. Now, as this goes in here, this points to through the case, the back of the case, and goes into there. And as it goes in, there's like a chamfered bit inside which pushes on these and grips the cable. Really, really nice, because it means you've only got to have an easy 10mm hole. So I've pre-drilled these, so you can see on the back. I've got one for the strain relief cable, another one for the earth, and it's should be a very simple build. Might be a bit fiddly getting it in there. Originally this had some horrible connector on the back, but I've pushed that back in. It's not all that stable, but then I don't want to leave it with that anyway. I wanted to put some rubber feet on the bottom. I found some white ones, so that'd be quite nice. The sticky's gone on that, so I might have to use a bit of glue. I'll probably do that anyway, but that'd be really nice to keep it from moving around, so it's going to push it off the bench a little bit and give it some nice grip. So that's the idea. In terms of other bits and pieces, we've got the screws for this bit. I think that goes with the strain relief, and then this stuff is going to go inside on there. So the idea is that that's going to be screwed down onto that bit, and then that's going to be on there. So, and this is going to be the tag that I'm going to use for the earth. So that's going to go in there like that. It's going to go to there, and that's going to look good. So yeah, I actually need to chop that bit off. You can see there that's got a little bit of treatment. I'm not quite sure where that cable came from, but I don't want to leave it like that because that doesn't look very good. So the idea is I'm going to strip the wires off that and then twist the ends a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to solder those up. Now these ones are very stupidly long, so they don't need to be as long as that. So I'm going to just chop those off a bit. Doesn't matter, this cable's smaller, doesn't really matter at all. The thing is that with what is essentially with my static leak of 1 meg and that at 1 meg, that's 2 meg. Thing is, if you just put it straight on ground, that's potentially not great. You don't want to be connected to ground if you don't want to be, or don't realise you are. You know that if you have a short, then you could be connected through ground and provide a convenient current path, and that would hurt like hell or possibly be dangerous. So with this setup, if you've got a high resistance in series, that just gives you a little bit of protection. So what I need to do now is find my magic hands. Where are some? There we are. We'll just tin those wires a little bit. Okay, so let's do that. Some solder. Apologies if it's a bit noisy, it's blowing an absolute gale out there at the moment. Some proper Christmassy seasonal weather. Okay, almost there on that one. We can start crimping these up a little bit. No, I don't need to use a crimp, but I quite like using a crimp. Just feels nice somehow. So that one's going to be crimped onto there. So we have to hold that at the right position so you can just about see it at the end there, but it's not standing too proud. Now that one there is yellow. It used to be kind of rubbed off. This is very rusty, but that is the right one. There you go, nice and solid. And that will go in there like that. So first thing I'm going to do is put this rather strange looking square nut on there. Quite sure where that came from, but don't think it's meant for anything like this, but hey, provides a nice surface for this to go on. So then we can put a washer on there. Okay, so that will go now. I'm not going to do that up completely, but that you get the idea. So that's going to be in there like that, all very nice and solid. So in terms of the socket, obviously this way around, that's going to go in there like that. So next to that, we've obviously got the mains cable. Okie dokie. Right, another one on there. Right, okay, so we got those sorted out. Now this one obviously goes through the case, so that's the bit that goes. Hang on, which way around is it? So that goes that way. So you can see the hole there. I don't need this anymore. I'll get this. See the hole there? That goes that way, so that it can react against that nut. Okay. So if we push those through there, then that goes through there. And because they're soldered, it doesn't fray and be horrible. Okay. There you go. So that goes through there like that. I'm not going to do it up just yet, but when you do that on there, you get the idea that as you do it up, it's going to crimp on that cable, and that's going to be very nice. All right. So in terms of the wiring for the socket, that's pretty straightforward. Thankfully, it's all labelled: neutral, live, earth. So the live goes in there like that. Okay, and then the neutral goes in there. Okay, and then the earth, there's going to be two of those. In fact, oh, I just noticed I've made a bit of a mistake there. So actually I need to solder all of these together. So I'm going to use my helping hands again. Okay. So all of that gets stuffed into there. Okay, cool, nice. So next thing is I'm going to put the earth strap on there. Actually, no, I'm not. Hey, spot the obvious mistake. Right, so I need to put the heat shrink on there first. Classic mistake. Right, okay. So next thing is I'm going to put. I'm going to get this resistor. I'm going to put some solder on that leg there, and on this one. And I'll probably just chop that a bit because it's a bit too long. I don't need it to be that big. Okay. So that goes on there like that. Bring this way so I can actually see it. Right, okay. Okay, so we've got that on there. The heat shrink can go to there. You're not expecting any load on this thing, you know, it's not, it's for static stuff. So again, we're talking orange, yellow on there. I'm going to use this just to heat that up a little bit. Everyone's got their own way of doing it. I usually use a lighter, but there's nothing to hand here, so that'll do. There you go. So that's good. So that will go onto here. So let's just move this around here so you can see it. So that's it inside there, and then that goes on there like that. Get a nut. Tell you what, it's not easy, that one. Oh, it's so fiddly. Use the outside one to turn it, that's a lot easier. Okay. That's nice and solid. And then in here, so as we're moving this up, I'm got to adjust it. So actually don't have much space there, but should be okay. Nice and solid, and then that one goes in there like that. Okay, so that's nice and solid, that's not moving anywhere. And then this one, somehow I'm going to do it up. This is not going to be easy. Oh, dainty fingers I don't have. Wow. Once you get it around the first bit, it's fine. There we go, that's got it. Okay, I'm going to do that up. Screws are going everywhere. Okay, all good. So that's all nice and solid. That's very solid. That's very solid. Just double check the wiring before you do anything up. So neutral, N for neutral, L for live, and earth. That looks good. Okay, so it goes on that way. And we put these screws on there like that. Oh, hang on, before we do that. Right, the other thing we've got to do is do this cable up. There you go, nice and solid. Oh yeah, that feels great. Brilliant. So I mean these screws in the case and these earth pins, that they're all connected. So you know, if you want to do anti-statification, is that a word? Then you can just touch it and that's fine. You know, you could get a screwdriver and just tap that and then you'll kind of go. But it's nice to have that wire, because that means you can come along job done. You've got proper earth with an extra 1 meg, you know, job done. And that's a nice, neat little device. I think it looks really cool. Nice strain relief, nothing nasty going on. You might, I don't know whether you'd want to, so the sort of things I work on are usually fairly low power. Maybe you'd go with a lower fuse in there. I don't know, whatever. That's for another time. Of course, if you wanted to, you could upgrade this by having a different front. These are, you know, ubiquitous things. The next step is to get the feet on. So I'm going to have to glue that. So that'll be another video. I'll just do a very quick test for continuity. Let's see if we can test the resistance on that. So we've got, so that goes there like that. Yeah, of course I won't be able to do that, will I? Because that is, yeah. Okay, so I think I'm actually picking up the chassis. There's no inline resistance on that. Should have thought of that. Whee, look out. Still usable, but I quite like the idea of having an additional. So basically, I think the internal 1 meg resistor that I put on there is actually being bypassed, and it's finding ground through the chassis. So that's interesting. Not a showstopper because I know I've got 1 meg on there, but it's kind of something that I'm not intending. Yeah, of course, that's going to go straight through there. So you see here that is probably picking up. Yeah, so if I did this and measured the resistance through there, I'm not sure I can now. I'll have to take this off. So let's just take off all of the ground and measured it through there. Then yeah, it's picking up. I need to, of course that's on there as well. Yeah, okay, well you get the idea. Is that a biggie? Probably not. It's not quite what I was intending. Yeah, okay. So this, in future, this would have to be changed for something which didn't do it. Now, if this was a plastic chassis, that wouldn't be a problem. But I really like the metal. So is it a huge issue? Nah, it's not a huge issue. Okay, well, lesson learned. I should have thought about that a bit more, but I do have 1 meg inline on my. So I'm just going to reassemble this. Like I say, if you've done this, you've made this project up, maybe you've got a plastic case, I don't know. Need to put these feet on it. And like I mentioned, I think one of them, maybe that one's going to have to be glued, because I think the sticky's gone off a bit on that. So there you go, the final thing. Very nice bit of kit, solid, funky looking, retro, but I like it. It's like being in an old school lab. Yeah, let me know what you think. Be nice, thank you.